Hello and welcome to coverage from the 2017 United States Disc Golf Championship from Rock Hill, South Carolina. We've got round one, front nine coverage, big sexy commentary, myself, Nate Sexton, and Jeremy Koling.
Here we are. This is the big one. This is our creme de la creme of disc golf tournaments. We're here in my backyard in Rock Hill, South Carolina, and what an incredible card here, the fan-voted card.
Yeah, and what a treat to see Paige attack this course.
I love that she was the number one fan vote getter here for this card, and obviously the fans want to see Paul. Obviously they want to see Eagle attack this course. And we're here on hole one, a new hole one position.
Yeah, new position up to the left and up yet again on top of a stump. It opens up kind of a forehand route that was kind of always there but wasn't really that good, has now been made probably the route.
I've been making fun of... Wow, this is a pretty cool moment to be called the US Champion and stepping on that tee pad was probably the most nerves I've ever had stepping on the hole one here.
Wow.
But I've been giving Paul Ulibarri some, I don't know, I've been making fun of him for a while throwing the sidearm on this hole because it's always been a straight shot. And now it's a sidearm hole. Yep. And so it's kind of cool. It's bringing a different aspect to this hole that we've never seen before.
Representing Texas, four-time and current women's world champion and 2017 United States women's champion, Paige Pierce.
It's a nice long intro, as she deserves. A lot of titles.
Brian Schweberger was on my bag caddying today, and we were discussing the reason the gallery was so large today had to be mostly because of Paige. I mean, this is a huge opportunity. She is one of the few women ever to qualify, without giving a sponsorship exemption or winning her way on from a female tournament.
United States champion, Paul McBeth.
Another guy with a couple titles to his name.
Yeah, and surprising to see Paul going with the backhand here. This really... the one thing the backhand does open up is that if you throw it well, and it looks like he has done so, it's going to give you an uphill putt where you can be a little bit more aggressive.
Yeah.
The downhill putt that I have is going to be very scary.
But that's a long putt from where Paul just landed.
Yeah, he circles the edge. I mean, you really can't even do much better. That bush down at the bottom of the hill is really wide, and it's really tough to get around without going too far.
Yeah.
Ooh, and Eagle's got this turned over down the street.
Run.
And doesn't hit anyone. Some nice athleticism there from our gallery.
Definitely, and pretty clutch, too, because if that hits somebody, it's probably OB.
Oh, sure. I mean, if you have an athletic gallery, that's a huge...
You know you're playing a major.
Yeah, that's big time.
Wow, he crushed that.
Yeah, way too far. And that's one of the reasons I think going with a driver is kind of scary on this hole if you don't have really good touch.
Paige trying to get out, and that's actually pretty well done. She's going to leave herself a tester. Big uphill putt from there.
And just off to the left side, that's a really that's a nerve tester in the first hole of the tournament.
I'm just hoping I don't have to see a brutal roll personally. I know there's going to be a bunch of brutal ones.
For sure.
Okay, Paige for a par save here.
And she just had an awkward stance, couldn't go with her traditional putting style.
And here she is coming back for the bogey, and she's in. Not the start she was looking for, but, I mean, can you imagine how cool would it be? Paige Pierce, United States Disc Golf Champion in the Open division.
Yeah, she's already got one in the performance flight, and, I mean, I think she can do anything she sets her mind to. She's so talented. She has all the distance she needs. She has all the touch she needs. I mean, why not?
Yeah, I think obviously the odds are long, but I'm not going to count her out just yet. Just one bogey is not enough to slow her down.
That's right.
Hole 2, our first par 4, 629 feet, slightly uphill. You got OB on the right side with the fence and actually a little bit of hazard area to stop rollers from just going over there and easily hitting and staying in bounds. So that'll put you OB, as well as the parking lot on the left. And the new addition is these 5 posts right next to the basket that really make the putt interesting if you are on that right side.
Yeah, USDGC has done one thing very well every single year, and that's add one bit of controversial addition to the course every single year.
Yep.
And that this year it is these little posts here on hole 2.
Oh no, I've done that before. Wow, it looks like you got a pretty good
hit though. This is the first time that I got to actually flash the ring, as Billy Crump says, which is basically the same thing as World Champ Love.
Yeah.
Just a little bit extra luck there to kick off the house and jump back to the right and give myself a look at the green.
Paul with a nice shot there. I think perhaps a leopard.
And that shot's really great because if you can clear the ceiling and get up the fairway about 350 or so, it's going to open up the tee shot perfectly, but it's so hard to do so without throwing a roller. However, the roller has gotten a lot more difficult. You have the parking lot right there, which he jumps the curb, and you also have the extended OB line off the fence, which is wider this year than it's ever been.
Yeah. Yeah, it's over 100 feet of the fence that is hazarded.
And it's about 3 meters, I'd say, off the fence line, which is further off the fence than it's ever been as well. Mm-hmm. So it's a tricky shot to throw a roller, but it also has the biggest upside if you throw it right.
Yeah. Paige with a little bit of an unfortunate lie here. She's going to have to go standstill. Looks like she's opting for a putter.
Yeah, she throws that putter really well. It's a great placement disc for her, and I think we're going to see her throwing a lot of deputies today.
Nice. That stayed in bounds there?
Yeah, it stayed in bounds. Pretty
because
close
I think
to
the
edge.
line is well inside the curb.
And this was...
Ooh, this is a little scary. He's double. He's
very
triple.
Scary.
Seriously?
The second... That's me flashing the ring again.
Oh, that's fantastic. The triple skipper.
I didn't think it had a chance at all.
It didn't look inspiring.
No, I was very uninspired when it came out of my hand, but it was a very fortunate break to get over there, and I'm putting for birdie now.
Yeah, that's great.
And Paul with a nice shot there to get into about 24 feet from the pin. And Eagle's just got a simple little short putter shot.
Going for it.
And there you see the
bullseye.
And it's crazy to me, that roller was so nice, and last year he was up
way farther.
About 45 feet, 50 feet from the pin.
It must have gone through the parking lot, right?
I actually don't think it did.
That doesn't make sense. That's amazing.
Yeah, it was an insane roller. You can go back and check last year's coverage if you want to see it. And that wasn't even close. I was kind of battling some nerves here. And it was a great putt on the first hole, but it still is incredibly nerve-wracking just starting off trying to get a feel for the round and to draw air on that putt and now have kind of a tester length putt here with a post in the way.
Oh, geez.
This is going to say a lot about the way I'm feeling. And I really wasn't that nervous about the comebacker, but it was just long enough that if I had missed that and gone from birdie to bogey.
I'd say it's the first good shot you threw on hole 2.
I would agree with that. And here you're seeing what these posts are making players do. If you're off to the right side, you've got to pick your way. There's a little encouragement pat there from Paige. And that's how you want to draw this on up here.
Yeah, that's fantastic from Eagle. 2 birdies, 2 pars. Nobody off to that perfect start, but you guys are moving.
Perfect start at Winthrop. Wouldn't that be ideal?
Hole 3, downhill, 389-foot par 3. We've got hazard everywhere, including some new hazard on the right side that kind of impacts that forehand play. But with any hazard, you're gonna play from where the disc lies. You're just gonna take your penalty. The tough thing can be if you land just barely out of bounds and you've got to have that rope kind of in your swing.
Right. With the hazard rule, it's not like normal OB rules. If you are close enough to the OB line, you can actually straddle, have 1 foot inbounds and 1 foot in the hazard. But you're not allowed any relief from the hazard.
Yeah, so sometimes the rope can really come into play.
And Paul is calling, get down. And there's the world champ love and flash in the ring right there. That's a huge break there for Paul.
Yeah. When you've got both, you might as well use them.
Exactly. See, I've only got one ring to flash, and I can't flash it that many times.
It's a shiny ring, though. I saw it the other night.
It's purdy.
Eagle going super wide, but he gets the big skip.
Oh, yeah.
Fantastic.
And just rolls outside the bullseye, but awesome shot. I thought that he had thrown it too low there. I mean, he threw it just overstable enough for that thing to take a great skip, and this came out of my hand looking exactly the way I wanted it to, and then caught the heavy rope.
But still, you're on the green. But
I'm on the green. I'm at the edge of the circle, but
Okay,
I just had missed that putt on 2 from edge of circle, so that heavy rope kind of
probably cost you 10 feet.
Yeah, it kind of was just thinking to myself, all right, what's going on here?
And Paige makes the mistake that you want to make if you have a choice there to rip it too hard rather than kind of floating it into the hazard, although she did put herself in a pretty tough spot, it looks like.
Yeah, and her sidearm didn't have enough nose up there. She's going to be left with about 45 feet.
See if she can get a nice par save here.
Let's get that round going. That girl. Yes. She's one of the best putters, male, female, whatever. She's such an incredible putter. And when I was watching her practice yesterday, that's the distance she was practicing from. I had a lot of confidence that she was going to step up and make that one.
That's awesome.
And Paul taking advantage of the great break there from the post, and he converts on his birdie.
Nice. Couple big putts. And here we got a medium putt. Nicely done.
Those medium putts are the ones that make the difference in the end.
Absolutely.
Those ones that are just inside the circle, you can't jump putt, you can't follow through on your putt, but just long enough to be a tester, and Eagle's going to tap in his birdie. So 3 birdies and a par save from Paige there.
Yeah, really well played hole for the group. Hole 4, 448 foot par 4. We are going straight up the gut, and then you've got this Mando tree and a really well protected green. So you've got to throw a very straight shot, maybe a little bit of right break, and then the second shot is kind of like forehand only as far as getting all the way into the pin and skipping downhill. Very difficult to put it back in around the corner and make it all the way to the green.
First off, I think this hole should just be called 444 feet, par 4, hole 4.
That would be nice. Yeah.
I think, who's really counting those extra 4 feet? But yeah, the second shot is so crucial to be in this tight landing zone here, because if you're too short, you don't have the angle to skip around. If you're too long, like Paul is, it's going to be almost impossible to attack the green from where he is.
Yeah.
And then the second shot, like you said, is really a forehand only. And even if you can't throw a forehand air shot, I've seen some forehand rollers on shots that come up short.
Yep.
Like you see Eagle short there, he might not have anything else besides a cut forehand roller.
Which is a high risk play. What are you throwing?
This is a Star Wraith here that's actually been one of my heavily relied upon discs this year. It's pretty overstable for Wraiths, and it allows me to throw it pretty hard and get some good glide as well.
And that's just maybe 5 feet short of absolutely ideal, but you should be fine from there.
I'll take 4 shots there for this tournament if I can get it.
Definitely. Paige fighting through the branches.
Just doesn't get past that last one. That would have put her in a really good spot. She's going to have to play safe from there. There's really no way to attack the green if you come up short from the landing zone.
This isn't the hole where you can make a miracle shot. The Mando just sort of doesn't allow it. If you're not in a good spot, just get your 4 and move on.
Yep, take your medicine. Helps you hurt less. And he's got a little bit of an alley right here. Could not see that from where I was standing, and he just clears the mandatory.
Wow.
And got a really bad break, actually.
Didn't
that was
fight through any of it.
Heading right for the pin.
Wow.
It was a fantastic shot with not the greatest result.
These guys are not interested in any medicine at all, but this is that's the high risk part of that play.
Yeah, and it's trying to cut back and catches the Creighton Myrtles. It may have even rolled back inbounds way long.
It would have been terrible over there, but it could have worked.
He would have been safe and thrown one less stroke, but either way, he's going to have to throw from out of bounds there.
Yeah, that's tough. That's going to make you wish you had been more interested in some sort of medicine, but sometimes you go for it, and that's the pain.
And even from that ideal landing zone shot there from the tee, it's so difficult to get all the way back off to the right. You really have to almost take a big skip and just a little bit of a roll as well.
Yeah, you need like 5-10 feet more distance than you had to open the angle up to really be comfortable getting down there to the bullseye. Here is Paul after that roller.
And
wow,
he was in there for a while. He was trying to figure some way of getting a look at it and couldn't quite muster up the height.
Nice birdie there.
And I'm I forgot about the air balling too now. I mean, now I'm back into the rhythm of the course. And
you just made 2 29-footers in a row, so.
Yeah, I kind of made up for that pretty poor putt on hole 2. And Paige with a nice little par save. Her approach that's one of the things that this slopey green does. It looked like it was going to be in bullseye, and it just kept sliding to about 18 feet. And those are the tester putts that you have to make to stay competitive at this event.
This green is a lot more angled than you think. Like, you see some rollaways here. You don't really feel like you're on a slope, but you are.
And if you get down to the edge of those trees there, it's a tough putt.
Absolutely. Hole 5, one of the absolute signature holes in the sport of disc golf at this time. Par 5. Are we playing the A position here at 1,083?
This is the A position.
Yeah, out on the point. So this is the basket you can see. For the second and third round, the basket will be tucked around to the right. Really, really tough hole. You got to play for position. But you still need power if you're going to get any kind of look at birdie. It's a long way.
And this is the first year that I'm actually going with a backhand off the tee. And the point is that I want to get more distance than I've been getting with my forehand. The second shot, you have to be so far up there to get the distance on your shot across the water that this tee shot's pretty important. Now it opens this fairway. Seems like it allows you to really rip it.
Yeah. Yeah, if you get a little bit of flip on it, some good things can happen.
Yeah, and Paul's put a good move on this.
Nice and high and wide.
On a nice star destroyer, and he's right in the middle of the fairway, right where you want to be. It's going to set him up for a really ideal second shot.
Doesn't need to go power on the second from there.
And it's interesting, this placement off to the left is the shorter in terms of distance from the tee, but it probably plays maybe another 150 feet longer because of the third shot.
Yeah, could be.
Because the B placement is off to the right behind the mandatory tree. But it's well safe from the water, so you don't have to really play that really scary third shot that kind of flirts with the edge of the water.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of interesting that the other hole's actually longer from the tee, but it's maybe 150 feet shorter in terms of the way it plays.
Yeah. Yeah, they're both playing long. I'll say that much.
I was kind of surprised that this was only the 5th hardest hole in the course in terms of difficulty. This is always one that seems to really eat people's lunch.
That's crazy. I would have put this in the top 5 hardest holes.
No, that's what I said. This is the 5th hardest hole.
I thought for a second I thought you said 5th easiest.
No,
okay.
It's the 5th hardest hole, but I thought that it would have been the 2nd or 3rd hardest.
Sure.
I mean, just because you can see some people take some really big numbers. I mean, this lake just gobbles up discs.
Totally.
And hopes and dreams.
Most of it looks like water, but it's liquid hope.
It's a liquid hope drainer. And Paul just got away from his flex shot there. I'm sure he wasn't trying to throw it that far away from the edge of the circle. From the edge of the water.
Yeah, can't be.
And with Eagle's humongous drive, it really allows him to play the hyzer sidearm to the ideal landing zone.
He is way up there.
And I was way out of position here, and I'm trying to make something happen.
Oh, that's a big shot.
It needs to get a little bit of a little bit of love, and maybe if it was about 2 feet left,
maybe
it could have skipped over, but just too close to the bank. And
you do see people skip up and in every once in a while. I saw it as I was leaving the park. Somebody threw a shot that jumped off the water and got up in bounds.
It's such a fantastic shot. That's his T-Bird 3, I believe.
Yeah, it is. That is incredible.
And I mean, I thought when he released it that he was just playing a safe shot just to get across the water, but little did I know he was actually putting it inside the circle.
Flexing it back, yeah.
That's perfect. And this has got to stay up. And
nice.
Just gets over the OB line. Paige is safe after 3 shots. She's going to be looking at a long look for birdie on this daunting hole 5.
It's an awesome feeling whenever you're over there in 3 and you just kind of, the stress kind of goes away. It's like,
Right.
maybe I can get a birdie, but if I don't, par is going to be easy, and that's a pretty good score here.
You know, even though I got to move up about 100 feet towards the edge of the lake there, that shot didn't really get much easier.
No.
I mean, because you're still only about 40 feet from the edge of the water, and it's just such a scary shot over that water every single time. Doesn't matter where you are.
And once you already have a penalty, I feel like, early on it's like a cross is good enough. But once you move up to that edge, you start thinking, I kind of need to park this. Like, I can't afford to just throw it 50
Sure.
long and try to make the putt. I'm taking a 7 if I do that.
Right. And huge connection there from Eagle. That's
Well
a great birdie.
Yeah, big time.
Played the hole pretty much perfect, except that maybe his third shot, he'd like to maybe not have to make a putt outside the circle next time.
Yeah. This is your spot this round.
Yeah, that was that was one of those situations where I realized I was kind of focused, because Schwebe had mentioned that Barsby was right in line in the background putting on 17, and I didn't even notice him. And that's where you want to be. You
Yeah.
want to be in those zones where you don't realize what's going on in your surroundings. You're just out there doing your thing.
Yep, definitely.
And that's another great birdie there from Paul. Fantastic third shot.
Yeah, from out of position to drop it right on the green. And Paige gets it high enough.
What's your guess for biggest score in hole 5 yesterday?
9.
There was a 9, but that's not the biggest score. There was actually a 12 as well. The hole is just brutal.
Hole 6, 371-foot par 3, super treacherous. It kind of looks easy from here, but you have to throw a shot so straight and avoid this OB on the right. You can't really see it very well in the drone footage, but there's a circle of roped OB on your right, and then obviously the left side all water. You have to get the distance perfect, the skip perfect, and jump onto that sand.
Yeah, the infamous beach hole. This is one that they added this tree right here off the tee pad a few years ago to take away that big hyzer play.
Does that have enough distance?
And it hits the tree and comes. That would have been close. I think he would have been just fine, but ends up hitting the tree, and no worries there. You're in bounds. But this tree really forces players to really commit to that huge, high, wide hyzer that Eagle has the ability to throw. Not many other people can do that. And that's just
that's massive.
Just barely clears the OB roped area that you can see here. But it changed the shot from being a spike hyzer for all the players that can throw 370-foot spike hyzers, which is pretty much every player at this event.
Yep.
To now throwing the straight shot and much more dangerous shot, just because it brings the water a lot more in play, and this OB landing zone here. If you don't throw the perfect speed, the perfect height, and the perfect stability, you're going to find the OB area.
And Paige did just find the OB, correct?
Correct. She did find the OB. And I put the right move on this, and I was just waiting for this thing to hyzer.
It needs to move, yeah.
And it just kind of straight skipped, and it never got that hyzer. And
Well, it stayed in, though.
I am in bounds, and there's 3 of us right there with Paige moving up to the drop zone. All OB shots are limited to rethrow from the previous lie and drop zone.
And the drop zone is just a death putt 45-footer.
Right. Not something you really want to be that aggressive with. And Paige was aggressive and hit the cage just a little short of a fantastic putt there.
You got to take the drop zone putt without the penalty and sink it. Beautiful, too.
Right. That's a little practice in case something happens in the upcoming rounds.
That must be how you won it. That's smart.
And Eagle just saw that little soft run that I had, and he tried to do one of zone, and that's not necessarily Eagle's power putt. He's kind of an aggressive putter, and he has a pretty straight beeline attack at the basket.
But you can understand changing the style up a little bit from 45 feet with the water behind.
Yeah, and it's so important. If you're going to be aggressive, you have to draw metal. Even a slow putt that doesn't draw metal here is going to go OB.
And then you just putt again from the drop. You don't get to move up.
You don't get to move up.
Hole 7, 284 feet, triple Mando. You got to go through the gate to be in play. If you don't, you have to go to a drop spot. You actually have your choice between 2 drop spots, but you're basically taking a 4.
Yeah, there's really, I still have yet to see someone throw one in from the drop zone. I know somebody, I'm sure has.
Yeah, I'm sure.
But it's pretty difficult because you have to straddle out to one side, and hopefully we don't see anyone have to go to the drop zone here, which I had to do all 3 rounds last year.
Wow, that still amazes me.
So I chose an MD2 here just to throw straight and just barely got through the gates, and yay, I'm safe.
Edge of circle putt. Paul's got a McPro Rock 3. Needs to stop turning.
Yeah, he turned over a bit much, but he kind of gets that World Champ love, the WCL that we talk about there, with a little bit of a break off the bamboo wall kicking back so he has a putt.
Yep, at least not missing the Mando.
And Eagle's showing off a new form. He's taking his hand off the disc and just ripping through, and he's got a bullseye. Perfect shot there.
Nice.
But this is new for Eagle. This is not a throw that we've seen him throw all year. This is a...
Yeah.
And he got a beautiful follow flight here. I mean, you're just going to see this is just thrown perfect.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Using the height.
I don't know if that's a P2 or a P3X. I don't know if he's throwing the P3Xs yet, but I know he likes them a lot.
Wow, I'd be surprised. It seems like it's more overstable than that, but...
Yeah, it probably is. And Paige is throwing her deputy,
Whoa.
and that just got away from her. I mean, she puts so much spin with so much rotation with her hips on these throws.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, if you don't quite commit to throwing through that line,
Yep.
you're gonna come off a bit short. And
That's a nice shot from the drop spot. She was trying to run that, you can tell, but she got a little bit of a bid on it and also didn't have to pay the price by going too long. Paul just short from 40-something feet. Are you in the circle here or not quite?
just barely in the circle. No, actually, I'm just barely outside the circle, as I recall.
Nice.
So that's back-to-back putts outside the circle, and I forgot about the bogey on 5 now.
There you go.
Actually, I forgot about it after it happened. I forgot about it before I teed off on 6, but I've made up for it now. And in the last 3 holes, I'm one under. So
That's great.
it's a way to bounce back from. Yeah, you're gonna bogey out here.
Yep.
To follow it up with a birdie is the way that's how you have to play this course. You have to get that stroke back.
Hole 8 is a 697-foot par 4 that finishes hard right up the hill. You got not really any OB on the right anymore. Obviously, the baseball field is OB, but then you do have a OB fence on the left as well as a little roped area of OB right at the distance where most drives are going to land.
The front 9 is by far the easiest 9 holes. In fact, 7 of the 9 easiest holes are on the front 9. This is not one of those holes.
No.
This hole requires a long, well-placed tee shot here to give yourself just a prayer at your second shot. With the basket moving up the hill to the right in the last couple of years, it has just made the attack to this green so difficult.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's 3 huge trees that you have to navigate around, and there's so many things that make this putting green so difficult. And Eagle's got this really wide, but it's got a ton of angle and a lot of speed.
Whoa.
And it hits the stake, and that is OB.
Oh, man. Close. He's in the perfect spot at least.
Right.
You know, where he went OB there. He'll get to move up, and he'll have a chance to save par.
If that drive could have stayed 6 inches right, it would be the ideal landing zone.
Yeah.
Way up the fairway and off to the left, giving him the best angle to attack the green.
And that's good course design from the USDGC that, you know, the ideal landing zone is 6 inches from OB over there. You know, like they put that OB there for a reason because that's where you would love to be. So it tempts you over there, but you have to kind of be controlled with your shot.
And that's a fantastic shot there from Paige. Again, these are a little bit further right than we'd like to be. You're going to have to clear this hillside just barely over the top and
Stay short.
and avoid these stumps and everything that's off to the right side of the fairway approaching the green. But yeah, you can see as you look back on this hole,
Whoa.
and she caught a phantom branch.
Yeah.
We couldn't see what she hit until after it was hit and was moving.
Ghost branch.
But if you look back down this fairway, you can see a ton of trees that have come down over the years. And there was a hurricane that came by maybe 6-7 years ago. And when that happened, the hole was redesigned, and it's been redesigned several times. And I think that it's finally found itself in a pretty permanent location. I mean, I feel like this is a fair test of skill.
No, eagle.
Yeah, this is a bit. He got away from that one a little bit. He was trying to go low with something really overstable.
That max probably.
But didn't give it a chance to catch the edge that he needed.
Touchy little forehand from Paige. Catches the tree. She's going to have a long look for her par.
And Eagle's trying to make something happen.
Wow.
Just comes up a bit short. And I have a little bit less room for imagination there. The ceiling was too low to really give it a run. And onto the slopey green, there's really no chance that you make that magic happen.
Whoa, good effort from Paige there.
And Paul's approach, as fantastic as it was, is just a little bit long. It doesn't allow him to get a clean look at the basket. This little tree cluster behind the pin makes this approach. I mean, all the other aspects of this approach are difficult. But then when you get up to the green and you have to deal with this large tree and the bush next to it, it's sometimes a little bit too much.
Give us the numbers. How many actual birdies were made on this hole? I got to think it's 10 to 15?
13% of the field birdied it, which is 13 people. There's 99 players in the field. So
wow, I guess 10 to 15 is a pretty good guess.
Yeah, it is a pretty good guess. And he's not cheating, folks. He's not looking. And yeah, so mostly 66 pars, 17 bogeys, only 3 double bogeys. So wasn't playing that much over par, but it's just so hard to get the birdie.
So hard to birdie. You have to execute everything about those 2 shots. Hole 9, a new design for this year, 499-foot par 4. Most people are going to be playing safe and making it a 2-shot hole, but it is absolutely there as an eagle play for a guy named Eagle, a guy named Paul, even a guy named Jerm if he wants to go after it.
So the design this year is really what they were trying to do last year was entice the players to go for the eagle. And I don't think enough players were going for that shot. It was a blind green. Now they've made it not blind anymore. Return to the old tee pad. But this is a pretty cut and dry 2-shot forehand Sexton Firebird hole for me. I don't even want to entertain the idea of eagle.
Looks like Paul might be interested in something like that.
And this has got all the height you need.
Good.
And all the speed you need. And there's just no doubt about that. That is just perfect, and he is well, maybe not perfect because he's not tapping in, but
a massive shot.
A great shot there, and Eagle saw that and said, I'm going to try that too, and he's going to throw a PD2.
It's going, whoa, it got a little flip actually.
Much lower.
Oh, no.
And somehow he's thrown an OB long. This hole is 499 feet. He's thrown it about 530 feet long.
With a low ceiling.
With a low
mandatory.
ceiling. And the disc was never over 10 feet high.
That's nuts.
It's insane. And Paige is trying to play safe, but she has hazarded it too much, and she is going to be... All OB shots will go to the drop zone, which is a really funky drop spot that they've added behind these little pillars.
Yeah, it is pretty strange. Perfect shot from Jerm. There's no worse feeling, in my opinion. I'm sure I've said this in videos before, but trying to play safe and going OB.
Yeah, that's the worst.
Absolute low point for me.
And as the safe guy, you know all about that.
I do. I've tried a few safe shots and I've screwed up some of them. So it is not a good feeling when you decide not to go for the eagle and then you go out of bounds trying to be smart.
And Paige put a move on that. I didn't know if she was trying to just put it up in the green or give that a bid, but that was the drop zone. She was throwing.
She threw that from a knee?
From the knee on the drop zone.
Wow.
And this putts for eagle. And
that is a fantastic shot by Paige. From the knee through the supports.
It was really impressive. And Eagle with a solid par putt. I was kind of surprised to see him throw from the front edge of the drop zone. If he had thrown from the back edge, especially throwing the standstill, you take away those poles and gives you a little bit more of an angle.
Paige saves a great par.
Yeah, awesome approach there from the drop zone. Taking to a knee, going through those posts is just pretty scary, but she executed the shot perfect.
And Paul for birdie after the massive drive.
Yeah, you don't see too many two-putt birdies.
No, not often. 9 and 10 are a good place to do it at Winthrop. And you with the more traditional birdie, super well done, no stress on the putt.
Yeah, that's the way I draw it up. And who would ever thought that I'd have trouble getting the disc out of the tall basket?
It's got to be a new feeling for you. Anyway, 2 birdies for the card. Germ leading us off -5 through the front. Thank you guys for tuning in and joining us for first round coverage. We hope that you will be back to check out the conclusion of the round and the rest of the week. I mean, this is, I think, the biggest event in the world.
Yeah, this is the premier event, and everything about this is so professional, and can't wait for the back 9 because this is where things really get interesting.